Pollen. I want to welcome you back to another edition of the Light Unto the Nations show. And let me tell you what we got for you. Boom. All in for God. It's there to dispel all your doubts about religion and God. And that's a lot for one book to do. So you're definitely getting your money's worth. I'm here to talk to you today about gratitude. Why? First of all, there is a story of King David that in his time there was a plague that broke out and it was killing about 100 people a day. Kind of reminds you of Carona, even though Carona is worse. But 100 people a day is a lot, and he asked God why it's happening. And God said it's because people don't have gratitude. It's because people take things for granted. And God hates, you can imagine when you're doing so much for someone and they take it for granted, it's really hurtful and it makes God angry, and he gives you a punishment as a wake-up call. It's not because he hates you, it's just like a parent has to punish his child when he's going off the path because he wants to help him go on the path. So he does that, and he reminds you of what's important. And as soon as the Jews found out that it was because of this, that it was because of the lack of gratitude, they fixed the situation. They had more gratitude to God, and then the plague went away. So maybe, just maybe, Corona is a similar situation because we're all in quarantine. So what's happening is we are starting to become more grateful for the simple things in life. Just being able to go out and ride a bike and be near people. As soon as we can be near people and not have to wear a mask and just be able to dress normally. So all these basic things like dressing normally and walking and talking and going around, all of them become amazing things that are God-given. Hopefully we realize that they're given by God and that we will not take them for granted anymore. And that's, we can see that's possibly a purpose of coronavirus, and the way we can make coronavirus go away is by having gratitude proactively learning how to have gratitude. So what we're going to do is, let's just share one more story before we go on. Alon Anava, Rabbi Alon Anava, is very prominent on the internet right now. He's got some very popular videos about his near-death experiences. That's what some of his videos are about. And he had a situation not too long ago where he was, his left leg was all black and blue and purple and yellow and orange and every color under the rainbow because he had such poor circulation. Nothing was going to the leg, and it caused a blood clot in his lung, and the blood clot almost killed him. It actually did kill him for a while. He went up, he had experiences in heaven, he came back down. He could barely breathe. That's all he could do. That was all he could do to breathe. And it's like torture for that to happen. To be able to not breathe is something that we really need to thank God for. We need to thank God for every breath because of what it's like when you can't breathe. Then you start to appreciate it. So that was the story with Anava. And the end of the story is that he realized as a Kabbalist that the left leg is coming from the godly emanation called Hod, which means to admit, which means to have gratitude. So he needed to have more gratitude. He stepped up his gratitude. He started to thank God more for what was happening in his life, and the situation got better, and he survived, and now he's back teaching as he always was. So what I want to do is I want to show you what it's like to live in a house and be a person that has proper gratitude. What is it like to live with gratitude? Because some people have gratitude lists in the morning, and that's great, but it's even better if you constantly have gratitude. Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid, the Psalms says you should keep God in front of you always. You should always have God in front of you. So what we need to do is look around our house and see what that's like, see how we can find God in everything that we do in the home. And because we are at least 50% of the time now on the internet in our lives, I'll just talk about the internet for a second. I'm personally watching a video with Manis Friedman, who's a very holy, sagacious, wise man. And normally I would have to pay for this, but I'm getting it for free. I'm getting free information, so I'm grateful for that. Then I'm grateful also for the fact that I have the internet at all. The internet was created, it's only recently, only the past 20 years. We didn't have it 50 years ago. We didn't have it 100 years ago. We didn't have it almost all the years that humans have been alive. So we have the internet and we have the YouTube, which we should be grateful for. And that I'm able to talk face to face with this man, even though I normally have to pay, and he's thousands of miles away. He's in Minnesota. It's unbelievable, and we should have thanks for every single video we watch. We need to recognize that this is coming from the internet. This is coming from YouTube. This is coming from the work of a lot of people. We need to thank those people, always thanking the people, and as well thanking God who gave them the idea and the power to do what they do, because our power, our energy, our soul doesn't come from ourselves. And also, whenever there's a situation where something is built or a song written or anything created, an art piece created, we have to recognize that it all started out with a single thought, a single flash of inspiration. And it's just boom, it just comes out of nowhere. And all of a sudden they get this idea, and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a computer, I'm going to make the internet, I'm going to make a painting, I'm going to make a song. It always is like that. And people say it just comes from the idea bank. It comes from the idea bank, and that's how it was. No, it doesn't come from the idea bank. It comes from God. The source of all things is the source of your thoughts. So he gives you the thought, so we have to be thankful to him, and we also have to be thankful for him for vivifying the person who built it, for vivifying their soul, for making them alive. We have to be very thankful to God for that, for everything that's in the house. And right next to the computer, we have the Yeti Microphone, and we can be appreciative of this microphone on many levels. But first of all, let's just point out that we should be grateful for the volume knob, for the light, and for the speaker that takes in, and we should be grateful that it's able to move up and down so I can have it in the proper way that I want it, and have it show up on screen the way that I want it to, and be able to talk into it in the proper way. And we should be thankful for the books that I'm reading. Obviously, I don't read one book at a time. And this book is by my mentor, the Lubavitcher Rabbi. And here's another book by the Lubavitcher Rabbi. You should really Google him. He's one of the most amazing men that ever lived. The Letter and the Spirit. And I want to thank God for giving me this book and for my mother loaning it to me. I want to thank God for giving me my mother, such a kind person, to loan me all of these books and so many other things that she does for me. In fact, I have a little book to keep track of everything my mom does for me, and I'm grateful for the people who had the idea for this book, and I'm grateful to the God who gave them the idea. And I'm grateful to the manufacturer of this book. I'm grateful for the manufacturer in general, as well as being grateful for the one who manufactured this exact book, this exact one. Everyone has something beautiful in their home. For me, I guess it's this vanilla and almond candle, and I can light it up and it will make a beautiful aroma. And the chemistry behind aroma is something unbelievable. How does it work? How do you make a flame and in the process make an aroma? Here, let's just get my notes here just to make sure I don't miss anything. So let's talk about the tefillin. These cost thousands of dollars. You can see it has 4 compartments. It has 4 different pieces of scripture written by an expert scribe, which is why it costs thousands of dollars. And God gave me the money. I don't know how he did it. I don't know where it came from. I don't have much money, but I was able to pay for this tefillin for myself and for my 2 sons who recently had bar mitzvahs. Thank you very much for your congratulations. I want to point out my coat. I would be miserable and I would be sick without my coat. I want to be thankful for my scarf, realizing that that keeps me warm, that it has the taluses, that it has the green, the gray, black, and white squares. And we have to be thankful for every single square. Every day I can point out a single square and say, hey, if I didn't have that one square, if this scarf was missing that particular square, it would be looking really weird and I wouldn't want to use it. So it's almost useless if it doesn't have that particular square. So we have to go about our life recognizing how grateful we are for all the things that they do for us, realize what they do for us, and also realize what part of everything do they do for us. I'm very grateful to God for all these toys because I think about what they accomplish. They accomplish that my kids want to come to my house even though I am divorced. And we have a gumball machine which does the exact same thing. It makes my kids want to come over here. And the funny pillow does the exact same thing. And everything has a purpose. Everything has a payoff to it. Everything has a payoff to what it does for me. I've got a Bible on the table because I'm going from the oral Torah, the oral law, back to basics, back to the Bible, the Tanakh, the writings, and the prophets. And let's just talk about the fact that everything that we're grateful for also carries a lesson. So this is a menorah, which looks beautiful, for instance. It's great to have in my home. Got another menorah, which reminds me of the love of one of my friends because he gave it to me. And this menorah reminds me, because it says in the Torah that the light of the candle is the soul of man. Basically, my soul can always be on fire. I can always generate that inspiration and that feeling that I'm on fire and I'm going to take over the world for God. And let's also recognize this and not be ungrateful for this stand. And we have to be grateful for this side of the stand and that side of the stand, because without both of them, this stand would be worthless. It would never stand. So I'm stepping on it now, and that's what I'm doing. And the plastic comes ultimately from God. The materials come ultimately from God. The sign, the bumper sticker, so to speak, that it has here comes from paper, which comes from trees, which come from God. And we have to take notice of all of it. I see, here's the door to my bathroom. I won't show you my bathroom, but I'll show you the door. And we have to really say a blessing every time we come out of the bathroom that we were successful in the bathroom, because we know that women have UTIs. We know that men have kidney stones, and kidney stones coming out is more painful than childbirth, according to some. I want to thank God for all the books that I have. How did I find the money to buy all these books? I don't know, but I have even more at my ex's house, and sticking out to, I should be grateful that this is sticking out to remind me of the fact that I did this book with my father, and it has helped thousands and thousands of ladies with their UTIs because people were overhydrating them, and my father was of the opinion that they should be underhydrated, and we sent this book out to people, doctors, all over the place, and all the major leaders and the thought leaders in the field, and they changed their journals, and they actually changed their tune, and they said that women should be underhydrated for the UTI problem. I mentioned about the tefillin, I mentioned about the coat. Let's talk about the guitar. We've got a hard guitar case, so I'm grateful for how hard it is, how strong it is, how it's never, ever let my guitar get hurt in any way, shape, or form. I'm grateful for the locks. I'm grateful for so that someone thought of the idea to put a handle here. I'm grateful to the person who put the handle there. And I'm grateful to God who gave the person who put the handle there the power to put the handle there. I'm grateful for the guitar inside, absolutely. I'm grateful for the hole inside that allows the music to reverberate. I'm grateful for every single string, because it wouldn't be a proper guitar if it didn't have all 6 strings. And it wouldn't be a proper guitar if it didn't have the machine that allows me to allows me to see what key I'm in, what note I'm on. And so if I didn't have that machine, I would be just shooting in the dark and not knowing at what point to put the string to be properly tuned. So we did the scarf, we did the tefillin book, we did the Yeti microphone, and we talked about King David and Carona. We talked about Alone Anava. Let's talk about the fact that I am walking. This whole time we have been ungrateful, and I have been ungrateful for the fact that I am walking, because what goes into the walking? It involves the toes, the sole of the foot, the skin of the foot, the veins of the foot, the arteries of the foot, the knee, the hip bones. There are hundreds and hundreds of things going on every single time I step. And it can't be from evolution. It can't be from random mutation. It's not random. It's clearly not a random thing. It's a perfectly built thing. It's clearly from God. So we have to recognize that I am walking. So walking should be noticed. It should be noted. It should not be taken for granted. Ein od milvado. There is nothing but God. There is nothing to notice except for what? God has put in front of us. And we also have to realize that I have eyes, and my eyes are the way that I'm able to see everything that I'm telling you about. And one of my eyes wasn't working properly the other day, and it was very scary. I thought I was going to be only with someone with only one eye. And you could say, well, you have your other eye. No, you need both eyes to be a normal, healthy person, to be totally in sync and have proper vision. You to be able to see depth, you need to have both eyes. So it was very scary, and God saved me from that situation, and I was able to see again. And I'm thankful for the stove, and I think of all the food that I've made with the stove and all the food I haven't made with the stove. We need to talk about the tissue box with cardboard houses the tissues, and we need to also notice this little plastic. And these are things that people forget when they do gratitude. They forget the little things, this little plastic which helps the tissues come out nicely. We're thankful for whoever thought about having this plastic, and we're thankful to the one who made the plastic, and we're thankful to the God who gave the materials for the plastic. Every material ultimately comes back to God. So there's one more thing I want to say, and that is we're thanking God for what we got, but we also got to thank God for what we not got, for what we don't have. If we get knocked around a little bit, if things are tough, it is also a blessing, because in the next world, things are very much more intense, and we get punished for every little thing in a very intense way. And if you get knocked around a little bit in this world, it takes away billions of years of pain in the next world. And so you probably should have gotten something even worse. So you probably should have gotten something worse, and you got off easy. And so whatever happened to you is still a blessing. So I hope this came out okay. I hope everybody understood what's going on. I hope everybody takes upon themselves to look at their house in a way of gratitude, in a way of, God spoke the world into being. That means he's communicating with us. He is telling us something. And the first thing he's telling us is that I am here. You have this thing. And the first thing we need to recognize about all things is that it is here. I have this thing. And I didn't have it without God. The only way I could have it is through God. And I hope everybody takes this upon themselves. And I hope through everybody recognizing God, not only in your house, but also outside your house. Be thankful for the street, the squirrels, the deer, every part of the deer, the tree, every part of the tree, every leaf on the tree. Pick one leaf, pick one part of one leaf. And you can go to extremes. And also, once you've had gratitude for something, you can always come back to that gratitude that you thought of. It's not like it runs out. You don't have to always come up with new things. You can just see that Yeti microphone, and you'll again remind yourself to see the volume knob and the other knob and the light, and you'll see it all again. It will all come back to you. So this is the way you have gratitude in your home. Take it outside your home. Take the concept outside your home. Take it along with you wherever you go. And always keep God in front of you. May God always be in front of your eyes. God bless.